Okay. Welcome back to Bofuri Anime Review episode number 4. This is discussing episodes 6 to 8. And yeah, now in case you're curious though, how long has it been this time? Has it been 2 weeks since the last one? Not really. It's only been just a few days. Well, there's kind of a reason for that because I want to get back. I don't want to take like 2 weeks before I get back to the next episode for this series, so speed process along. When I get back to the series, I'm going to finish it up. Well, finish the season anyways, and probably looking forward to season 2 coming next year. Now, in these episodes, well, first off, we have started off with Maple, where she's in the real world, where she along with Sally, where apparently playing video games so much, it basically just kind of disrupts her real life stuff. So she decides to take a break from video games for a few days, goes back into video game, and realizes those stuff has changed. For instance, you can form guilds now. Yes, guilds. Sally and Maple decide to form a guild with, of course, their little pets they have. Syrup, who is the turtle, and of course there's the fox. Then, of course, okay, so then, of course, they find out metal, pretty easy. And then, of course, wow, we find basically a place we can go home for the guild. This giant tree that has been turned into a house. They say the place is pretty big. They actually don't show much of it per se. The outside looks really good. It's basically like a big tall tree that's hauled out on the inside. It's got like a little balcony on top. It's got some windows in there. But you don't really see the full extent of this particular guild. This particular house per se. Like, do we see rooms? Not necessarily, no. Will you see a big table? And apparently it becomes active as a guild thing for, like, once they put a medal on this little area and claim as basically there, and nobody has a claim to this place, so they claim it. And plus, despite the fact this is sort of a medieval type of setting, we do have basically a flat screen TV in the meeting room. Well, probably because basically only the players can use this thing. So, they say, oh yeah, you can recruit about 50 people. Well, first 4, really easy. Well, the basic crew, the 2 people they met just the previous episodes, which are, and I'm going to try to make sure I get these names correctly. Basically, they recruit Kasami and Kanda. These 2, pretty simple. And then Karoman who didn't want to join at first, then joined later. Then we have debut of a couple of new characters, Mai and Yui. Mai is voiced by Sarah Ragasa, and of course, Yui is voiced by Chris McGuire. Awesome to see her voice again. Oh, by the way, Fox name's Obero. So, they're basically really strong. Now, when Maple and Sally go recruit these 2, because they have, especially there's a couple of different events coming out, events 3 and 4. 3 is going to be basically shown in episode 8, anyways. 4 basically will take up pretty much the rest of the season, anyways, which is basically book 4. So, when they recruit you and Mai, they go to the first floor, and they're good. Now, the thing is, like Maple, they max out one of their settings, the attack settings. So basically, they're super strong. So they take it like at the be a boss. They go back to the second floor, which of course they kind of immediately accept as members of the guild, anyways. Until they accidentally break the table, they'll fix the table, anyways. So of course, maybe gets new equipment, and also they discuss some wool, which is related kind of loose sets up basically received for the 3rd event, and basically, Maple goes on a couple of different quests in this particular set of episodes. The first one, as far as I can tell, is basically, well, here's kind of the thing. The first quest basically happens is that, actually, there's kind of like 3 different things she does on her own. First is basically she just wanted to do suicide. Like, oh, there's no exploring, and then, we get one of these chain events. Yes, I come across these whenever I play the Assassin's Creed game, where basically you do this, and you go back, get something, and of course come back to it. Yeah, this is nothing new. So even I come across this. So basically, it takes something like those bypasses, and basically they point out, oh yeah, she's got a scripted dialogue to say, like, oh, get all these monsters. She just flies out, of course, no problem, and gets the spring, goes back to the girl, drinks it. And doesn't work at first. Like, oh, magic healing ring that she got from early in the game. Puts on her. gets possessed, goes on a third quest, Malevolent Night, and just takes the demons pretty easily thanks to the water she drank. And then basically she just sleeps like, oh, one more thing to do. Go get a vial that unlocks a new ability for her, Loving Sacrifice, which transforms her angel and puts up basically a force barrier. Oh yeah, and by the way, the thing is super strong because of our vitality being so freaking high. They say like over 1,000, which is a lot to say the least. Yep, and that's the first of 3 times she goes off on her own, and she gets a brand new built in. And they have the third event in the very next episode, episode 8, where just take out a bunch of cows. Simple as that. We do see a couple other guilds here. We see the Flame Emperor's Guild, which mostly are fire wizards, and also the Order of the Sword, which not much is known about this particular guild until the show. It's like we see some basically people that Maple knows. They watch the administrators are building up the 4th event in the game, which is basically a guild versus guild event, which should be interesting. So then you have Sally during the 3rd event just goes on her own, where she goes back to the church and finding a gear. Yeah, the gear is actually set up when I go to level 3, which good on basically the anime for setting that up, because basically that's what the gear is there for. Set up basically level 3. Goes into the church that she just went into, like pretty much just the previous episode, and battles a demon there. And thanks to her new, she also has the ability to create wool of her own body. Well, she turns basically into wool, and we have Chrome basically just slicing pieces. So she battles the creature. Eventually, then the creature devours her, and she gets out of it by basically eating it from the inside. Yes, seriously. And gains new builds like Predator and Pure Chaos, which is also transforming into a giant monster. Then, of course, they come across a giant tree monster, which Maple easily dispatches thing really easily. And then, like, okay, so they got power up. Let's go level 3. And this basically sets up a fight that happens in the 8th episode with the gear. So they go a little exploring. Maple goes off with syrup. Interesting. Come across the old man to give him some food and water. Tell him a story about the first generation, second generation of machines. And then she asks him, like, a little more information. And he basically repeats the same dialogue that he just said. Now, this is not... I'm not going to blame the voice actor who voices this particular guy. And I'm not going to blame the scriptwriters for this particular thing, because this actually does happen. When you ask, basically go back to, we finished what we want to do, we finished that basically thing you're supposed to do with this guy, he will repeat the same thing, basically the same thing he just said. So, nothing new there. I've encountered this myself, so. Then she, of course, proceeds to fly on basically syrup. And, of course, you have this kid who's basically flying machines, like, watch me go with a flying turtle. Of course, he's shocked to see a flying turtle. And then eventually gets sort of lost. Ends up in the graveyard of lost dreams. That's basically where she ends up. It's sort of like a junkyard. And of course, she goes, walks to the place, goes inside. We see a guy who takes gear and sort of activates them. And apparently this gear gives her a new ability. Machine Guide. Which basically transforms her into a souped up warrior with frickin' turrets attached to her. And also, I gotta point this out though about this particular new ability of hers. It shows off her abdomen. Yes, seriously, it shows off her abdomen. So you get a chance to see her belly button in this particular thing. And she has absolutely no idea what the heck is going on. So after a brief fight that takes about 5 minutes the episode, she easily dispatches this giant robot, absorbs junk, and then she's like, what the heck is going on? And that's the episode for you. There's one other thing here. Karome himself gets a brand new set of armor, which, if you've seen the old battle sequence, it's what we wears like half an Onigumi mask. That's mostly what his new armor is. Then you have these little fluff suits that Izzy makes, and of course everybody gets brand new tires. Now in the case of Maple, she does get an all white attire, which this has been seen before, but her normal default attire is basically the black look. The white look is basically show off her new angel-like ability. So basically, she goes like 3 solo battles in just 3 episodes, which is quite good for her for that part. Yep. But that's pretty much it for Sicko Review. Next one's going to be basically a comic corner, and I'm just going to go ahead and do girlfriend afterwards, okay? Next video. Bye.